Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are back in the rotting croplands because we are not quite finished. We still have to kill ourselves a bug queen. So after we've done that, we can proceed. But then at least we have this area of the game completed.
That skill's not ready.
So we already ran around in the area for a bit. Hello there, random map reveal. Not quite sure why it does that, but it does it occasionally. But we have to be, I believe, somewhere in this area, so we're just gonna head north and look for ourselves up a bug queen and kill her. Only then will they be truly free of the monsters. Narnach, the unstoppable. Oh, that's just to test how unstoppable you truly are. You know what? This thing about unstoppable, sure, but you got a lot of ranged guys around here. And they are kind of annoying me, because we still can't properly kill them with damage reflection. We don't have enough reflection yet. We will get enough later on, but early on it's just difficult to get. It's easier to get retaliation rather than reflection. This had a shield of thorns, 135 piercing retaliation. That is quite a lot. In addition to 53 points of resistances, cold and poison, this is not a bad shield. Let's put it in our other backpack and hang onto it for a bit. Regen, cadence, but no resists. That's a bit annoying. And let's go back to killing stuff. A marked rock and some harvesters. And then suddenly there's this scarecrow that comes walking up. Almost as if I didn't come from that direction. Door. Let's find ourselves some bugs. The Spider Queen lair, of course, has multiple side areas that also have interesting things going on. So as always, we are gonna fully explore that. So rock cairn, there's no door through here though. I was looking for that, but nothing. If I understand correctly, there's just bugs here, but no actual queen, and we just have to look around a little bit.
Can't do that yet.
Angry Reader. Yes. Okay. Let's see, here it is. But let's clear the outside so that if need be we can escape without getting murdered by whatever is out here. It's always nice to leave yourself an escape route rather than... Well, it's a bit like burning your bridges. Only there's no bridges, but no, the metaphorical bridges. Leaving yourself no way out is similar to that. It's you can do it, but it's not the wisest thing. So far, we are just slaying the bugs like there is no real resistance. To a certain degree, you could say they're not really resisting. I mean, we are pretty darn sturdy. And whenever they try to hurt us, they hurt themselves. Though, keep in mind, the queen is not to be underestimated. She really hurts. Well, she can really hurt. Especially if you're not prepared, then that queen will tear you a new one. So for us it's definitely going to be an interesting challenge to see if we are worthy to kill the queen.
I can't do that yet.
Okay, some essence. Okay, we can probably look for just to get ourselves surrounded by a couple more monsters, since we are pretty decent at doing AoE damage, especially with all the damage retaliation going on. The more and the merrier. And it doesn't, it's actually more efficient to get yourself surrounded. And I think we found our first side area. One of the side areas has a secret sub area. Most of the time it turns out to be the second one, whichever you pick first. It's always going to be the second one. Swarming hatchery. Okay, let's just charge in here. Do some stomping about. I'm wondering why I seem to remember that there were caster bugs, but I'm not seeing them. Is that something that got rebalanced, or is it just that it's only the two unique viziers in the top level that do that? And am I just projecting forward that more mobs did it? Let's see, Touch of Malice. It's less damage, there's low life leech on it. But it does have a chance to stun 10% of 4 seconds, that's pretty decent. And armor reduction is also decent, but no, not quite what we're looking for. So that's not gonna be it. Hello there, you Hiveguard. Tainted Hiveguard even. Which explains all the tainted stuff around here. A combination of decent life regeneration plus life leech means that we can regenerate our way through here. It's the moment we engage Overguard, then our regeneration kicks into high gear and we can recover pretty well. When Overguard is down, you see the life slowly ticking down. Well, as we gain levels and we get more points into the Menhir's Bulwark, our base life regen is gonna go pretty far through the roof as well. Hello there. So what do we get? A bronze cuirass. Nothing truly exciting on it. Oh, blueprint. Adapts Morningstar. Cheaper to use, extra damage, elemental damage. Well, there's worse things to have. Slicer. Low damage, but high frequency of attacks. And some decent resistant boots. But no movement speed, so we'll ignore it. Okay. Let's keep searching. The interesting bit that we just have two of these mobs just aimlessly wandering about. Well, then again, if they're wandering about, they're not doing a lot to me. And therefore more safety. Downside of that, of course, is that they're not attacking me, so retaliation doesn't have an opportunity to kill them. There's always two sides to every story. Okay, we're just gonna kill all these clusters, wake up all the little ones, and they'll just murder themselves. And then focus on the reader. Okay.
Can't do that yet.
And that is level 35, speaking of leveling up. We have maxed out our primary class. Haven't set it on the secondary class yet. And I think I'm not gonna focus on it while we're still in normal or in veteran mode. Once we're in elite, I might pick a second class.
I can't do that yet.
But there are still plenty of skills that I want to put points into that doesn't really make sense to branch out. But here, Menhir's Bulwark maintainability doesn't cost any energy to maintain, it's just a maintained ability. But all the points we put in increases our retaliation damage percentage and it boosts our health regeneration. And it also gives us damage and damage absorption, so we truly become more tanky by putting points into this. So that is exactly what we do. Including the bonus from Menhir's Bulwark. At rest we're at 105 health regen. If you engage Overguard it goes up to 185. So that really does make a difference for us. Points go into Physique and we keep pushing on. Yes. There is this room up here, but is there anything interesting going on? Doesn't look like it. With the exception of the unique down here, not a lot happened. I think it's a missed opportunity. They could have done slightly more with the areas. No, just a random heroic in here. That's a bit underwhelming. There's these two viziers, grand viziers that are guarding the pheromones of the queen. Or carrying the pheromones of the queen, something like that. This guy. They could have been each in their own level, that you would really have a reason to go there. Just a quest-bound reason. And they could maybe have built it up a little bit more. Having them in their own final room, like a mini boss encounter before the actual boss encounter. But, well, it's a bit too late to change things like that now. Devs are busy working on the expansion, of course, and changing the main game content after the fact. I don't think it's all that useful for business, so. But it is interesting to just speculate about it. Now going through the what ifs. So some pheromone stuff. Let's see, pierce resistance, poison resistance, that's pretty decent. This would help us max out our pierce resist. But don't really have a ring to replace it for. That's the biggest downside, you always have to give up something. Let's see what we have here. Bloodfang oil.
That skill's not ready.
I'm terrible at using those one-off oils and potions and things like that. If I can't refill them, I usually just don't bother. Hey, we have a vizier here and there is another heroic down there. So this does qualify as an interesting fight. Viziers are no slouches. Overguard's keeping us alive. But because these guys are just so large, they're body blocking each other. And it's really hard for both of the heroes to go at me. Also means they can't really
I can't do that yet.
Kill themselves either. Okay, let's regenerate some energy. Also, Oathbreaker's Guard. Then, for some reason, that reminds me of all the stuff that you could buy in the very first town, Devil's Crossing. Because we're level 35 now, which means we can equip the faction-bound gear from there. That's going to be useful to go for a little bit of shopping. We do have some money, so we could buy 1 or 2 items from there.
Can't do that yet.
And now some of them have a bit of an affinity with Overguard. Others have some defensive properties to them. So it's definitely, there's interesting stuff happening that could be useful for the build. So that is worth investigating. I'll
I can't do that yet.
let's do that now. Well, we're kind of sort of looking at emptying our pockets anyway, aren't we? We got a door to the next area. Yeah, before we go in, we'll empty our pockets and do a little bit of shopping. Just some mid-dungeon shopping. But nah, we'll do it afterwards. Now let's not break up the flow. We'll just empty our pockets and then we'll continue onwards. So these guys really have issues just getting to me. They keep body blocking each other. It's well, from a defensive point of view, it's rather convenient. There's stuff there. Hidden remains. Just accidentally broke this open. It's not even the secret area I was specifically looking for. This is just a little bonus. It's always nice to get a little bonus. But yeah, no, we're pretty full. So let's empty our pockets and then we will move on. So Homestead is now the place where we can clear our pockets. And I tend to go for the merchant down here.
See anything you like?
So most of the stuff, no, we do we are now starting to find gear that has more armor, but some of the blue gear is really difficult to replace. We'll want to stash that one. This is double the armor, some regen. But it's still, we will probably want to replace it with a green one. So for now we'll just stick with what we got. Fire and lightning resistance is decent, but our current one has retaliation damage, and well, retaliation trumps everything. Lightning poison. If it were piercing poison, then it would be easier. Well, guns we don't use, two-handers we don't use. Caster gear we don't use. Some things are easier to go through than others. Let's see, bloodfang oil. Inflict some extra bleeding. Yeah, who cares, really? Let's see, bat mask. Ooh, there is some piercing retaliation and piercing resistance on here. That piques my interest. It's less armor, but it's more resists and it's more aggressive stuff. So we are gonna go for that one. Let's see, what's this? This is not as good. Green pants. A little bit of chaos resistance. Some piercing damage bonus, that's not bad. But it lacks a lot of the defensive properties that the old armor has. And it actually has almost half the armor, so let's not. This is a boatload of piercing retaliation. Otherwise, low defensive properties on the shield, so let's not. And Overbreaker's Guard. This is part of the Overbreaker set. You got Overbreaker, which is a weapon, I'm assuming, and Overbreaker's Guard. +2 to fire strike, so this implies it is a demolitionist item. So, might not be totally useful for us. And this is one we intentionally put in here for evaluation later on. So, no, that just most of the items are rubbish. Some items are worth considering.
No questions asked.
Of course, always these crafting materials are useful to grab. And then just to merge. And here, Overbreaker, we want to keep an eye out for it. I don't think we have the other part. Touch of Malice seemed interesting as well. This was a reasonably clear upgrade, so we're gonna switch to that one. Take the Rotten Heart out. And this one, we'll keep it apart and evaluate it later.
I'll hold on to that.
So we can't use our portal to quickly go from town to town because our portal is currently in the bug lair. So go over to Devil's Crossing to go to the inventor to take the Rotten Heart out.
Is my specialty.
Keep it.
Be safe out there.
And now we put retaliation in. So we now have more retaliation as well as more piercing resistance. We actually have maxed out piercing resistance, which might be a first for me. So there is that. And that's it. Let's get back into it. Let's go into the second secret area in the Royal Hive. And look for a golem. Of course there are bugs here, so it gets raided spikes, we get spined carapaces. Ooh, spined carapace actually starts dropping now, which has piercing built into it. This is probably something that we're gonna stick all over our armor once we get the opportunity. Because it will give us a lot of, 75 piercing retaliation plus another 12% to all retaliation damage. You can imagine that will stack quite good once we get multiple pieces of it. And the upside is that you don't have to craft it, you just have to kill lots and lots and lots of bugs for it.
I can't
Which
do that
happens
yet.
to be fun. Hello there, progenitor.
I can't do that yet.
Now there's one in the front, one in the back, and there's one just playing board. So the reverse of what I noticed earlier, that they can't get to me, is also true. I'm kind of pinned in place because these are so freaking huge. And they're just body blocking both me and the other bugs.
That skill's not ready.
So tank is what we can, but also tanking is what we must do to stay alive here.
That skill's not ready.
The small ones are just streaming in, not really being consequential. Either they get killed in just collateral hits, or they kill themselves with just 1 or 2 hits. They really don't stand a chance. So well, as before, and just even more prominently, it's the casters and the ranged attackers which are the only ones that are actually dangerous to us. Meleers, they are just not relevant anymore, which is interesting. I think it's really interesting because most of the time monsters are really annoying, and most of the time, most games, retaliation damage is not a serious strategy. It's not a serious way to play the game. Usually it's not viable either, because you need to trick monsters into hitting you often enough, because their health is just so incredibly high compared to the low amounts of retaliation damage that you can do, that it just doesn't pay to invest in it. And Grim Dawn actually allows you to invest in it, which is really nice. Also, I think I'm mistaking this area for something else. Oh no, I'm not. I just overlooked it. Lucky. That's good. I'm not starting to forget that. So into the cavern we go. The Den of the Lost. And the upside of the Den of the Lost is that there is a devotion shrine here. Also, it's a nice break from bugs. You know, killing bugs is fun, but killing other things is also fun. So having a secret area like this in the middle of the den of the bug den, the royal hive.
Not ready.
It's an interesting way to allow the area to be longer and bigger than it normally would, by just adding some variety to it. Okay, then we trigger this one and we get out, because this might hurt a little. Because more spiders are gonna drop in, so if we take a step back, then at least we keep some tactical repositioning advantage to ourselves. They're starting to do more damage now. It's the final waves that you have to be careful for. That's why, you know, having a healthy safe distance from the drop site allows you to control the engagement a little bit more than when they just jump on top of you and you get bushwhacked.
That skill's not ready.
Right, we got it. Excellent. So I have to deal with the little ones, but we got it. Frigid Quill Breath, which I think was a crossbow. It's a crossbow, oh yeah. Right. Devotion time. So we're gonna spend more points into Targo, because we wanted to get that damage reflection from Targo. But for now, 5% more health is definitely a nice thing. We're almost at 6,000 points of health, which might also be the highest amount of health I've ever had on one of my characters. So there's just a lot of serrated spikes. We don't have a full spined carapace just yet. It's still being worked on. Well, the devotion shrine was only one interesting bit though. There is a... Where are you?
That skill's not ready.
Yeah, you, Golos, the deep dweller. It's a sneaky little bugger. But we can kill it. No, never mind. That's what most bosses. No, you kill the ads, then you go for the boss. That way you keep the incoming amount of damage manageable. And it just becomes a matter of just slowly taking them out. So Golos inflicts poison. We resist it maximally, but we also have the Dryad, which reduces the duration that the poison is active. So that does help a little bit as well. Okay, so we didn't get a direct drop from Golos, but this supreme chest over here. Usually it contains a green one, doesn't it? Or am I just out of luck here? It looks like I'm out of luck. I always thought that Golos dropped a ring, that it was kind of his thing to always drop a ring. So let's turn our loot filter back to normal. Nope. Okay. Let's get back to going after the queen. We've had enough distractions for now. But Golos not giving a green ring, then that's slightly disappointing. Maybe he just has a very good chance of dropping it rather than a guarantee to always drop it. It's a bit like the Ikrix, one of those bug bosses. That always also has a good chance of dropping a green. Golos has a similar type. I think they're called monster infrequents. whatever they're called. We're gonna move on. Bug killing time. So this was the entire reason for going down here, so now we can get out. Let's see, no, this is where the rock is, so we go to the left side. For all our might, we can't climb over or push some of the dirt aside in order to move past. Okay, we can still push on. Okay, we have both of the pheromones, so we can just go to the Queen's Lair when we encounter her.
Can't do that yet.
And on the minimap I already see the star indicating where we have to go. If not, I knew it had to be up somewhere. That seems to be a consistent pattern in this level. Actually, these levels are not even generated, so it's not even a consistent pattern, that's just how the map works. I'm so used to having randomly generated levels in action RPGs that every once in a while I catch myself just using the terminology of the randomly generated maps in regards to a Grim Dawn, even though it is different. Yep, okay. Queen o'clock. Sealed by the Grand Viziers. Well, we do have the pheromones, so that's okay. And we go for the Queen. As before, as with previous playthroughs, we're gonna be careful. We're gonna clear the areas to the side before we engage the Queen herself. Just so we know that we have some space to move around. And we know there's gonna be no add-ons during the fight, because the Queen hits hard. She definitely can hit hard. And you don't want any extra forms of damage on you. Especially no tougher mobs like these while fighting her. Because that's just asking for trouble. And, well, trouble is fun, but not during the boss fight. We're just gonna avoid this room down here entirely, just walk around it. Also, there's some strong boxes in here to reward you for
that skill's not ready.
Walking about. And that's Demapteran Slicer. That's one of those Demapteran swords, daggers, things. Okay, I think this is to be the trickiest one because it is next to the Queen.
That skill's not ready.
Useful to clear nonetheless. You already see her over there. But she's stuck, so she can't do much. And there's another chest here to guard to reward us.
That skill's not ready.
No, these little ones, they really don't do anything to us. Every once in a while you hear the adrenaline kicking. I think that's going to be a useful skill to put a bit more points into as well. It helps us with our offensive capabilities. But after we have sorted out our defenses. Queen O'Clock. Yet another boss that uses poison damage rather extensively. I'm gonna try to keep my Overguard as a panic heal here, rather than as something that I keep up permanently. Because I know her second form is way more dangerous. So having Overguard available for that fight is gonna be pretty crucial.
I can't do that yet.
Okay, let's just do some regenerating. Now it gets interesting. Now we will need our tricks. That's rocks. She has the power to command the earth. Oh no, what shall we do? Well, actually, our natural regeneration is doing pretty darn well versus her. Okay. And that was that. She only barely got us to half, didn't even need to use Overguard. I overestimated the queen rather than underestimating her. That's a nice change. That's a very nice change of pace. Well, either way, that concludes our business down here. So now we can go back to Homestead and call this in as a yet another resounding success. So, yep, the queen is dead. Long live the queen. Well, long live us, actually. We got some stuff. And they still don't have enough food for Devil's Crossing. But that's a problem for another time. We got ourselves an extra bag, which is useful. Fanatic's Overcoat. I even overlooked the fact that we looted this. Health, regen, percentage regen, total speed, which is movement speed and attack speed. Casting speed. I wonder if it also affects recovery speed, but some chaos resistance, fanaticism when hit, which temporarily increases offensive capabilities in attack and casting speed. This is tempting. The bonus to the regen is gonna be pretty useful. Speed is always nice. Larger health pool, more regen. Some chaos resistance. We are still at 0, so any source is better than no source. The downside is giving up piercing retaliation and some piercing resistance. How much are we giving up? 23 points. So we're only over resisting by 4. On the other hand, chaos resistance is difficult to get by 2 changes. It does change our look a little bit. So some of the acid retaliation we are gonna regain. Also, let's having a look here at the... Oh no, the spined carapaces are 20 each rather than 25 each. So they still score under the rotting heart. But the percentage bonus does make things different. Okay, I already see it. There's lots of options and trade-offs to be made. I think I'm gonna just do that at my leisure. Oh, I think we still had a little bit of shopping left to do.
I'll give you a good price on what
We still don't have enough reputation to shop here. That's probably gonna be the case for a while. We still need to do a couple more quests here. But in Devil's Crossing we can shop. Let's see, we're definitely gonna go there. Piercing retaliation on a helmet, but there is no resists. And a bunch of extra armor. Okay, let's scratch it up to tempting. Fatality damage, we don't deal that, so that's not a useful. Bone cleavers. Chaos damage, Wendigo totem. We don't use Wendigo totems. Not useful. Low armor. Another Wendigo totem. Definitely a shaman weapon. Or at least shaman rolls on that weapon. We're just getting a whole lot of nothing here. This one. Good pierce and cold resist. But at the expense of retaliation. And health. That goes to the side. What's here? Bludgeon stuff. More piercing stuff. It's already getting closer to what we have though. Most of the things, they're just not worth it. That's no, standard thing that all action RPGs have.
Safe storage.
You find a lot of gear.
questions asked.
Most of it is completely not relevant. Do we have a full spined carapace yet, or was that truly the first bits? Those were the first bits we got. Okay, fair. Then we got this one, we have that one, and we have this one.
I'll keep an eye on this.
So we cleared the hive, so we can use the portal to quickly move about. We also have Tyrant's Hold, where we still have to go. There is a devotion shrine there waiting for us. So before we move north, we're gonna do that one first, and after that it's gonna be Source Bastion, Bloodgrove, yada yada. For now, Devil's Crossing. Time for a little bit of shopping.
Come see what's left of my wares.
Because once you are respected, you can go shopping here. I've already bought a couple of the blueprints. Those are useful to go for, but for now we're actually looking at the armors. Health, defenses, regen, physical resistance. This is tempting. This is very tempting. It's a very solid defensive item, even though we would lack the built-in piercing retaliation, and we would lose the piercing resist. But we had that for the other one as well. This helmet. Physical damage, internal trauma damage, that we deal both of those damage types. Bunch of health, which is comparable to what we have now. Some offensive ability, which we trade for the defensive ability we currently have. We lose 60 fire resistance, but we gain retaliation damage, and we gain 5% chance on attack to earthquake, which triggers once every 3 seconds, has a 3-meter radius, lasts for 3 seconds, and it inflicts physical damage and trauma damage, and it has a chance to stun, and it slows the opponent. So this is very good for crowd control. And it's once every 20 attacks. I don't think we do 20 attacks in 3 seconds just yet. Attack speed 109%, so that's presumably just under 1 attack per second. So it's gonna trigger 3 times per minute. But still. This is interesting. So what if we take the helmet off? So we drop down to 40, so we are over resisting 21% in fire resistance, which is okay. Also we are over resisting a little bit in poison, but of course we can put that one back where it came from. But this is an option. Also this is an armor upgrade. This would be an armor downgrade, and this is the elemental counterpart. You cast an elemental seal 1 hit, so this is defensive rather than offensive. Shield, physical resist, pierce resist, very useful. A bunch of health, defensive ability, constitution, useful. And this has quake when hit, so it's defensive. It's the defensive counterpart to earthquake. And this is gonna be pretty nice actually. Physical damage, trauma damage over time. Downside is we lose the bonus to retaliation damage. And the vitality resistance. Now there's always a lot of interesting items, and you definitely get interesting trade-offs thrown at you. So there's 2 shoulders and the shoulder guards. This is the low armor, this is the high armor version. Defenses, regen, more regen, armor percentage, physical resistance, and +1 to Overguard. This is very, very, very tempting. We lose out a little bit on resistances. We are low on lightning resist, so this is only gonna get worse. But this is very nice for defensive purposes. Let's see, anything in here? A crusher, lower damage, some chaos resistance, and a chance for chaos retaliation, which causes for 20% chance of retaliation, causing 44% in reduction to enemies' health. That's pretty intense. As I say, these items are definitely worth looking at, and if your gear isn't very good yet, you will find obvious upgrades here. In my case, I will have to make nasty trade-offs, and I don't like nasty trade-offs. I think we are gonna go for this. We no longer have burning shoulder guards, but we do get +1 to Overguard, so we push this one even further. So let's see, more damage absorption, more health regen. All defensive aspects become even better while it's active. We already have a decent amount of armor absorption, but the 20% from Scaled hide is useful. That said, we have the scars of battle. If you put a couple of points in here, then we can get our absorption up to 100%. So I'm actually tempted to drop the scaled hide here. Though those serrated spikes we found earlier with reflection built into them, those might be useful. Though for now I'm actually very tempted to go for the tough hide.
Got any more scrap
I think it
metal?
was the tough hide. The one that gives you lightning resistance. It was... This one. Rigid shell. Yeah. 20% lightning resistance is... well, not bad to get. And we definitely need to shore that up a little bit. So for now we're gonna go for that. And it's really cheap to make, so you can always strip it out and put something else in that is better for your build. But
Go on now.
yeah,
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
are we gonna sacrifice some retaliation for more regeneration? I think we will. I think a bigger health pool is gonna be useful, and that retaliation, we got 500 pierce retaliation already and a bunch of acid. I think we can sacrifice a little bit in places in order to boost our overall defensiveness, because otherwise in the end you want a pretty large life pool to work with. So we're gonna upgrade that one as well. 6,500 points of health. And we can just transfer the Rotten Heart across to get our acid retaliation back. The shield has too many trade-offs, so I don't think we're gonna do that. And the helmets, we will lose quite some fire resistance, which right now I don't think we want to make either. The resistance has more value than bumping our retaliation and getting Earthquake as a proc. So I think for now we're gonna settle on this.
But it's a good use.
And we might revisit the choices here in the future. But I'm just looking at my timer and I think this episode has been going on for way long enough. But well, doing the Queen's Hive as well as having a good look at the gear choices, I think it was definitely useful to do. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you again next time when we go take a walk in the forest and visit ourselves a castle. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.